I'm gonna make a character with dice. I play tabletop RPGs, and one of my favorite things to do is generate NPCs with dice. And character design is hard, so I'm gonna make the process easier. So the dice have numbers. I have tables with corresponding numbers. I roll the dice, get a number, look at the table, find the number, and I get some sort of word or descriptor. Then I apply it to the character design. By the end, hopefully, we'll have a beautiful character design. If I have anything specific that I want to ask the dice, then I'll form it as a yes or no question. If I get 10 or under, that means yes. And if I get 11 to 20, that means no. With this process, I'll generate the character's appearance and backstory. But every character design has some type of foundation or starting idea. The one I'm gonna run with is an adventurer. Who knows? Maybe you guys will see them in a future episode of Mistwind. Here is my dice cam, and I'm recording as I roll, so it's not like the best recording setup, so hopefully I don't sound too bad. I don't have a nicer looking dice roller for the video, so I'm gonna use this like card game box as my dice box. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little nervous, but let's just do it. Because I might use this for D&D, I'm going to use the D&D races to get a general appearance for this character. I know there's a lot more, but these are the ones that I would actually like to draw. And since there's 12 in this list, I'm going to roll 12-sided die. Look at this one, it's very pretty. All right, here we go. Oh, I got 12, which means we're drawing a hobgoblin. Let's also decide if this character is masculine or feminine. 1 to 5 is feminine, 6 to 10 is masculine. Oh god, that's kind of hard to see. 2, so feminine, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit happy about because that means I don't have to struggle to draw a masculine person. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all not to get too hung up on the D&D lore and trying to stay correct with it because I'm just freestyling this, okay? So let's try and narrow down their appearance a little bit. Let's find out what color hair they have. So I'll ask 1 to 10 is yes, 11 to 20 is no. Is their hair dark? So I rolled a 4, which means yes. They have dark hair. Since we're on hair, let's keep on going. Is their hair short? I got a 5, which means yes, their hair is short. So hobgoblins, color-wise, we can go a bit more orange, a bit more red, or I guess sometimes a bit more yellow. So let's just go with those 3. Are they a bit more red? Got an 11, no. Are they orange? 14, no, which means they're a bit more yellow. And I'm already starting to form a picture of this character in my mind. I'm drawing this later. You'll see me drawing it already. I want to know if they're short or tall, since hobgoblins are still goblinoids, I guess is what they're called, but they're larger than them. I want to know if they're considered tall for a hobgoblin. Are they tall? No, they're not tall, but does that mean they're really short for a hobgoblin? Yes, they are really short for a hobgoblin. And since my mind is blanking on the specifics of appearance, I'm gonna go to a table that'll give me a bit more of a descriptor or adjective for them. And I'm gonna be using some tables from Mythic Game Master Emulator 2nd edition. Wow, what a mouthful. This is what I use for a lot of my solo RPG stuff. I will link it in the description. So they literally have a table for character appearance here, and I'm gonna roll 2 words here. Since they're 100, I'm gonna combine the percentile dice with a d10 and add them up. So let's see what we get. 81 is short. Okay, not that helpful because we already know that they're short, so that one doesn't count. 24. Dirty. Awesome. Okay, maybe I could tie that into their backstory a little bit, or what their class might be, or you know, how they fight and stuff, since they're an adventurer. You know, it makes a lot of sense for an adventurer to be dirty. They probably don't get out and have access to baths a lot. I can't see the other dice. 009. Bizarre. Bizarre? How am I gonna translate a bizarre appearance? Maybe I can apply that to their silhouette. So their silhouette is very bizarre, very busy, like visually busy type of design, which it might become really difficult for me later on as we find out more about this person, but I'm just gonna roll with that. And I feel like I'm still missing a little bit more information about the appearance, so I'm gonna do another one. This is a 10, so 60 plus 10 is 70. Powerful. Ooh. So they're dirty, bizarre, and powerful. So maybe their hair kind of has a interesting silhouette going on despite being short. Maybe spiky hair. And they look powerful. So I'm kind of getting like almost a frowning face, like a stern looking face. Now, what do I do with powerful? Since I'm relating that to maybe how they go about their adventuring ways, I'm gonna ask, are they a barbarian? I got a 10. Remember, 1 to 10 means yes, so they are a barbarian. This is already entering like cliche territory because I feel like hob-goblins are mostly associated with the barbarian class or like some type of physical fighting class. And I was kind of hoping that they would be more on the magical side so I can draw them casting magic. Who knows, maybe they are a wild magic barbarian. So let's ask that. Are they a wild magic barbarian? Do this neon dice. Die. Ooh, 4, I see the 4. Yes, they are a wild magic barbarian. That will be very interesting to draw. And I also want to ask, is there any other color in their hair? 2, which means yes. So I wonder what color it is. Is it red? I'm liking the idea of red and I'm hoping that I get yes. Oh, I got a 2 again. So it is red. So our color scheme is feeling very fiery right now. So we got yellow skin, black hair, short hair with a little bit of red somewhere in there. So red is kind of our accent color. If you guys know anything about character design, usually with the color schemes, they tend to follow the 70-20-10 rule, where you have 70 of, since we're talking about colors, 70% of your color scheme is one color, which is your dominant color. 20% is your color that complements that, and then 10% is your accent color. So since we have our 3 colors already, yellow is our 70%. Let's do 20 is black, and then 10 is our red. I'm curious about the outfit, but I think I'm gonna do the outfit later once I know a little bit more about their story. So I'm going to be using the Universal NPC emulator to generate a little bit more about this person. And they have tables with 100 words. So we're going to roll a percentile and a d10 again. 16, which is coarse. It's kind of matching the theme we have going on. Man, let's get a noun. 29? Yeah, okay, I think that's a 9. 29, which is burglar, coarse burglar. Okay, this person leads a dangerous life. What I'm thinking, the gears in my brain are turning. We know that they're an adventurer because that's the foundation that we started with, the idea we started with. And we just got coarse burglar. So I feel like maybe they have some scars here and there from their life before they started adventuring, which mainly consisted of them robbing people. You know, maybe they were one of those typical thugs on the street that was just robbing people left and right, trying to get whatever scrap of anything that they could get to provide for themselves. And you know what? I think it's time to get a name for this person because I've just been calling them. So Mythic GME actually has a name table that I think is pretty cool, and we can just go with that. And if I start to struggle or if I don't like the way it sounds, I can refer to actual like hob-goblin naming conventions if needed. But usually I don't actually pay attention to the naming convention rules that source books give me because I don't know. There's just I don't like being restricted in naming. So let's go with this. So let's do 3 rolls for now. 79, 73, and 7. Wow. Those numbers are very similar to each other. So 79 is Ta, 73 is Ren, and 7 is R. Ta, Ren, R. We could switch those around. We got Ren Ta'ar, R Ta Ren. Artaren? Ren Arta? Renarta? Alright, I'm struggling a little bit with this, so I'm gonna look up hob-goblin naming conventions, even though I just said that thing earlier. Okay, so they seem to have a lot of double vowels, like A, I, and we can actually do that here with the syllables we have with Ta and R. So Ta'ar. Ren Ta'ar. The clan names can have the double vowels, so I'm kind of vibing with their first name is Ren, and then their last name is Ta'ar. T-A-A-R. Ren Ta'ar. It sounds like a hobgoblin name, right? And I'm not actually sure if the double vowel is pronounced like that separately, but I'm Filipino, and that's how we do the double vowels. Like the word for where in Tagalog is saan instead of san. You know, we say saan. So I'm gonna say Ta'ar. And hopefully by this time I would have finished drawing Ren Ta'ar's face by now. By the way, I forgot to mention it earlier, but Ren's pronouns are she, they. In this video, I tend to use they a lot more than she, but it is both. So feel free to use both if you're commenting about them. All right, so we know that Ren is short, even for a hobgoblin. So let's just say that they are a short hobgoblin, but a tall goblin. We also know that they're a wild magic barbarian with messy, spiky hair. So let's figure out, what is Ren wearing? So I already know that barbarians are often seen wearing some type of fur clothing, like either around their shoulders or on their waist or somewhere else on their body, right? So I'm gonna ask, does Ren wear fur? No, they're not wearing fur, which I can still work with that because I know that I want part of their outfit to be also spiky, just like their hair. If they're not wearing fur, what could they be wearing that is spiky? Playing Baldur's Gate, I know that goblins tend to wear spiky armor. So let's ask that. Okay, 7. Which is a yes, thank God, because I don't know what else other spiky thing I would have asked if it wasn't the armor. So Ren is still in touch with their goblinoid roots. And I also want to add on to the hair because I'm looking at barbarians right now and I'm seeing a lot of braids. And I just remembered Powder from Arcane has this short little braid in the back, and I wanted to ask if Ren also has that. I can see the 5. Yes, Ren does have a little braid in the back. So perhaps when Ren's hair is down and not braided, it looks more like a mullet or a wolf cut, but they like to braid that back part so that it doesn't, like, you know, get everywhere, I guess. What I'm also seeing here is that although barbarians still wear armor, they tend to show a lot more skin than other classes because, you know, I think they have a unarmored defense. So the armor that they're wearing isn't totally considered like armor in D&D and stuff. So it's usually like leather armor rather than plate armor. And I feel like Ren's more goblinoid spiky armor is a bit more of just accessories, just like the barbarians have their fur coat stuff as accessories, you know. So I'm gonna ask, does Ren have a lot of skin exposed like most barbarians do? 7, yes, they do have a lot of skin exposed. So I'm thinking some sort of crop top. I've always loved a little crop top on a barbarian. in Baldur's Gate. So I'm gonna mess around with that. So what I'm also seeing for the bottom part of the design is that barbarians tend to have that like piece of fabric going down the middle of their legs and the back. I don't know what it's called. It's probably called something because it's used in a lot of designs. So I'm gonna ask, does Ren wear something like that? No. They don't. Maybe it's more the opposite way where the fabric is on the side at the back and none in the front. So let's ask that. 10. So that's a yes. Barely a yes, but still a yes. And thank goodness, because I was kind of digging it. And I would have had a hard time figuring out what else if I got a no. So they got like a skirt that's like, or a fabric that's open in the front but surrounding the rest of them. I'm gonna assume that it's short because as a barbarian you would probably want to move around and not have some type of long skirt in the way, but who cares about realism or things making sense? Let's ask, is it short? Because who knows, it might still be long. C17, gotta know, it is not short, it's long. So we can mess around with that. And I feel like this is already becoming an interesting design and like shape language in my head for Ren Ta'ar. So I'm seeing a lot of fur boots for barbarians too. And I'm gonna go ahead and ask, do they wear fur boots? 3. So Ren does not wear fur on the top of their body, but they do wear fur boots. So like pretty furry boots. Hopefully I can make it work. In Baldur's Gate 3, I have also seen the goblins wear some sort of belt that has like bones and skulls on it. And I kind of like where that's going. So I'm gonna ask, is it bones and skulls on that little belt? Because who knows, maybe it could be something else. Let's use a different die. So it is skulls and bones and stuff. So still very much heading in the direction of hob-goblin and goblin aesthetic with that belt. Now, we need to figure out what is the bizarre, unexpected thing about this design. So let's go back to Ren being a coarse burglar and ask questions about that. Maybe I can get some ideas from it on what could be unexpected about their design. So I want to ask about, where were they robbing people? Was it an urban setting like a city? No. Okay. Maybe it was some sort of open area like in the countryside or just out and about in the forest and stuff. Let's ask, was it in the forest? 10. Yes, it was in the forest. So maybe they had a posse of people and they would... Let's ask, did they do it? Did they burglar in a group? No, they did not have a group with them. So in the forest, Ren Ta'ar would just wait in the bushes or behind trees alone, waiting to ambush people and basically rob them. Was Ren often in the business of hurting the people that they robbed? Oh my god, we got a 1. That is as yes as the dice can go. So I guess it kind of matches because they're a barbarian. So they were not a stranger to hurting people. I wonder what was the reason that Ren was robbing a lot of people. Was it to provide for just themselves? 14. No. So there was somebody else. Did Ren have some sort of family? Yes. So Ren had some sort of family. Was it just their parents? So it was just Ren's parents. And let's dive deeper into that. What was Ren trying to get for their parents? So to narrow this down into something more specific, I want to know what type of object Ren was looking to get from these robberies to give to their parents. So I'm gonna refer to a table in Mythic GME again. It's the objects table. So I'm gonna roll a D100 for that. 56. Liquid. Whoa. A liquid object. I'm thinking some sort of medicine, maybe a potion, a healing potion. All right, so let's ask, was it a healing potion? No. All right, so if it wasn't a healing potion, maybe a poison antidote? Yes, an 8, so a yes. Ren is trying to get a poison antidote for one of their parents, and I'm thinking one of the parents recently, I don't know, got poisoned somehow, and this poison is slowly eating away at them and like killing them over time. And so Ren has been trying desperately to find some sort of antidote this entire time, but maybe Ren's family is not very wealthy, you know. They have to resort to robbery and ambushing people in order to get whatever coin or access to potions and stuff. And so it seems to me that Ren is like desperate in this situation, and I want to find out if Ren's parents are still alive. Ooh, entering tragedy territory. I don't want to use that orange dye anymore because it was hard to see, so let's go purple. Oh my god, they are not alive. That's a no. They're not alive anymore. So I think it was too late, but I'm curious. Did Ren actually end up finding an antidote? Yes, Ren did find an antidote eventually, but it was too late. Her parents were already dead. So we still have yet to find the unexpected thing about Ren's design. And that backstory gave me a couple ideas. You know, it makes me wonder, was it just Ren's parents' death that caused them to kind of abandon the life of robbery and turn to something else? Or was it something else, you know? And I'm gonna ask because it was in my head earlier and it seems pretty unexpected. Do small woodland creatures like Ren a lot? Do they get drawn to Ren like how they would get drawn to Snow White? No, okay. We gotta honor the dice. So Ren does not have a little Snow White thing going on about them. Oh right, Ren is a wild magic barbarian, and we haven't figured out how they became a wild magic barbarian. So looking to a path of wild magic for the barbarian subclass, it says that sometimes magic, beauty, intense emotion from the Feywild, the upper planes, and other realms of supernatural power radiate with such forces and can profoundly influence people, such as folk of deep feeling like barbarians who they basically fight with their rage. They're very high feeling people. What is this magical or intense emotion thing that had fueled Ren Ta'ar to become a wild magic barbarian rather than just a normal barbarian? So the first heightened emotion that I could probably think of is grief. Right? Because her parents are dead and it was too late, and there might be a lot of self-blame there. Maybe a lot of worldly blame where it's like, oh, it's the world's fault that my parents died because I was too poor to be able to afford the antidote. Once I finally got the antidote, the world just mocked me by making it too late. So I'm intrigued by the thought of the Feywild or some sort of fairy or fae or whatever influencing Ren Ta'ar after seeing that their parents are dead. So I'm gonna ask, was it some type of like, I don't know, archfey or someone from the Feywild who had encountered Ren Ta'ar and kind of granted them this influence over magic? 3. Okay, it was. So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm visualizing some sort of almost like deal with an archfey, but rather than a deal, it was a bit more of a challenge. So this fey creature, you know what? I'm not entirely sure what an archfey is, but I don't feel like researching it. So let's just say some sort of fey had met Ren Ta'ar maybe soon after her parents died, because through the planes of existence. I don't know what I'm talking about. They had felt this incredibly powerful, because remember we rolled the word powerful before for Ren. They had felt this incredibly powerful sense of grief and emotion kind of through the planes of existence, and they were drawn to it. And they went to it, and they met Ren Ta'ar. And Ren Ta'ar was very, let's just go with what I said earlier, angry at the world, blaming the world for what it had done to her, basically. And this fae creature says, what does this fae creature say? I'm thinking they tried to convince Ren to get out in the world and try to prove that blame wrong. Because right now Ren is feeling, I hate the world, it did me wrong, and stuff like that. And this fae is like, no, it didn't. There's a lot more to the world out there than ambushing people on the street and stealing from them, or ambushing people in the forest, I guess. But so they kind of like grant them this like magical ability from their heightened emotions, and is like, use this and go out into the world, explore. You now need to provide just for yourself instead of your parents. So I'm gonna give you this gift to help you out with that. Go out and do jobs for people. Do actual jobs rather than just ambushing people and stealing from them. Earn your money. See what the world has to offer. Basically, I don't know, it feels more like a warlocky pact thing, because I am not entirely sure if this archfey or fae can just take away Ren's like wild magic barbarian stuff, but who knows. This is entering like too detailed territory, and I still don't know what the bizarre part of the design is. This bizarre part is kind of stumping me. Like, I have no idea what to do with it. All right, I'm gonna start just asking like ridiculous things. Does Ren really like tea? Like really, really like it? Okay, no, it's not tea. Does Ren really, really like plushies? Like just cute plushies? Okay, 6, yes. Ren really likes plushies, so perhaps along the way of adventuring, they got money now. They could actually spend money on things that they want for themselves. They can splurge, you know, they no longer have to try and save up for an antidote for their parents. And they find out about the existence of plushies somewhere out there, and Ren decides to buy it and starts collecting it. So I'm thinking on that belt, over time, Ren maybe starts to hang plushies on that belt too, along with the skulls and bones and stuff. Like a keychain, basically, but it's just plushies. Maybe eventually over time, she runs out of room, starts to replace those skulls and bones with even more plushies. And I feel like these plushies could really be anything, and because I'm upset about that about the woodland creatures from before, I'm gonna ask, is it more often than not a plushie of a woodland creature? 6 again. So it is. So she likes to collect plushies of woodland creatures like small birds, maybe squirrels, rabbits, what other woodland creatures are there? Oh god. Owls? Whatever, you know, like whatever I can think of once I start drawing. But man, I wish I came up with that earlier, because now I want to, you know, give myself some time in the video to really draw this out. So Ren Ta'ar's parents died because of all the time that they spent robbing people in the forest. The antidote that they needed to heal their parent of this slow eating poison was just, it was too late. Now, a fae has given Ren a means to kind of fight for themselves in the world outside, and they were pushed to go try like employment, basically, rather than robbing people in the forest. And so I think maybe Ren finally went to other villages now that they can stray away far from their childhood home that they had shared with their parents. And so Ren goes to other villages, looks at some quest boards, and eventually takes up jobs and starts to earn a bit more money and is able to use it on whatever they want. And they start spending it on plushies because why not, right? This is my money now and no one else will tell me what to do with it. And I think they do kind of realize that it's like, wow, I really didn't have to spend so much time robbing people instead. You know, I could have been doing this instead. Maybe I could have gotten that antidote faster. So I think that's where I'm at. That's where pretty much I'm gonna stop with the rolling. You know, Ren Ta'ar is a wild magic barbarian who had lost their parents and is now out in the wild working as an adventurer, trying to just earn money to fund their plushie collection that is quickly growing around their belt. So Ren is just a short hobgoblin running around wild magicking everywhere with a bunch of cute plushies of woodland animals on their belt. And that is where we're at. I think, who knows, maybe one day I'll play a campaign with Ren as my PC, or I'll insert Ren as an NPC in one of my existing campaigns. And if you've watched my Mistwind series, which I just recently released episode 1 of, who knows, maybe Ren Ta'ar could make an appearance there somewhere. Anyway, I just realized that I didn't record an outro for this video, so here it is. So this is how Ren Ta'ar turned out. I hope you like them. There's a lot more that I realized that I actually forgot to do in this video, but it was already getting really long. Like, I didn't roll on their personality and also like their motives for whatever story that they might have in the future. I'll probably just end up doing that in my own time. Anyway, if you ended up liking this video, if you thought it was fun, if you want more of it, let me know in the comments, because I would definitely be down to do this again. You know, it's something different than just a typical draw with me. And it's just nice to change things up. And I just want to slip in a quick plug for my new series, Mistwind, which is about my solo D&D campaign, which I animated or storyboarded. Please go check that out if you haven't already, if you like more D&D content. And so yeah, that is all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!